This is a fabulous venue and a great audience. I'm a bit shocked as to how many people are here. Can everybody hear me at the back? No? A bit more? My role in the credit union is I'm a founding member of a credit union. So before I go into it, I know there's a lot of knowledge about credit unions, and there is some misconceptions about credit unions as well. One of the biggest misconceptions is they're only for poor people, yeah? Well, I don't tell the aeroplane pilots in plane savers that it's only for poor people, otherwise they'd all leave. So all I want to say is, who's heard about credit unions here in this room? Put your hands up. Okay, that's very good. Who works with their local credit union in whatever capacity you are? Local authority, whether you're a housing association, hands up. Slightly less than those that have heard about credit unions then. So part of the reason I'm here today is to share with you our experience of working with landlords, which we work with a lot, and I left some notes outside so that you could look at the landlords that we work with, working with tenants, obviously, but also working with local authorities. All of you will have heard of the Homeless Reduction Act. You've heard of the Homeless Reduction Act? Everybody's heard of that? I think that was a great and inspiring piece of legislation to force local authorities to actually deal with single homeless, anybody that's homeless, because it used to be that they had to have a specific need. Either they were vulnerable or they had children. ABCL, which I'm part of, that's up in the top right-hand corner. ABCL is the Association of British Credit Unions Limited, and it looks after about 230 of the 300 credit unions. That's the trade body. Just like housing associations have trade bodies as well. What is a credit union? Are most people familiar with what a credit union is? Right, okay, sorry about that. We're a savings and loans business. Now, credit unions in the media. This one says that there are 2 million members in credit unions now. There are 300 plus credit unions across Britain. 2 million members. Your tenants can all join. Your staff can all join. Your board, actually all of you can join. Yeah? So Lewisham Homes is an arm's length management organisation based in Lewisham, still owned by the council, but managed independently. On the leaflet that I left outside, this one, it gives you the fact that our 5,000 members of the credit union who are tenants, including Lewisham Homes tenants, have £2 million worth of savings with us. Those savings are protected by the financial compensation scheme. Right, so Lewisham Homes got 1,500 tenants, they have 15,000 properties, 10%. They've got £600,000 in savings, those 1,500 tenants. Now, most people have an idea when you're out talking about what job you do. Oh, I work for housing associations, social landlords. They think that no tenants can afford to put money away. In this country, because we are so well looked after, everybody can afford to put money away. Phoenix Community Housing is a co-op. All on your slides, this. Now, they kept on giving money to their tenants at winter time because they were saying, I've got no money for gas. I've got no money for electricity. So they were actually taking out money and giving them money. We were downstairs below them, and we were saying, well, why don't you let us give them the money? If they don't pay us back, I'll make sure I get it back. So do a loan. So what they've done is they've introduced people who have difficult and challenging financial times to a credit union that is really interested in trying to help people to get into a better financial time. Yeah? Works brilliantly. So they're introducing people to us. Any of your housing associations can do the same. The problem. I didn't make up these facts. These facts are out there. That's an interesting one, the second one. The Money and Pension Service found that nearly 12 million adults in the UK have no savings or savings of £100 or less. 11 million. Anybody heard that we're the 6th wealthiest country in the world? Something's going wrong in it. Oh, so it's not wealthy for everybody then? Sorry. Ah, got it now. 26% of working adults have no savings. And 30% have less than £1,000. Now, I know that the average wage, I used to work for the Office for National Statistics, I know that the average wage is £25,000. That's not going to last you very long, £1,000, is it? Might not even pay your rent. So what we're saying to you is by referring people to us, I only have I only have something like 35% of my members borrow money. I have 65% saving money. So by you referring, and one of the misconceptions whenever I go to meetings with housing officers is, you're only here to lend money. Actually, no. We would be bankrupt in that case because we can only use our members' money. I have to have you as net savers so that I can then lend that to other people. Then I can make a profit by lending that to other people. When I say I, you know it's not I. It's not my place. It's the Lewisham Credit Union or the credit union, so that we can actually help more people. We've given out £30 million in the last 20 years to 70,000 people. I'm going to be dead honest with you here. Maybe 25 or 30,000 of those 70,000 loans would have been refused by every other organisation, including the Wongers. And the reason it would have been refused is because they wouldn't have had debit cards or direct debit payments, etc. We don't judge people like that. We judge people by saying, come and see, if it's affordable, we'll help you. And this is just some of our members now. You can see that this is an old slide because I said I've only got under 5,000, where it's now nearly 5,200. Lewisham Homes, our biggest one. Barry in the next biggest one. Phoenix. We've got Peabody Trust here. Hexagon Housing. Now, Hexagon is actually in my area. It's in Lewisham, and it works in Greenwich, and it works one other place as well. I don't know. But they went to a credit union called Hammersmith and Fulham. The credit union was called Hammersmith and Fulham, and they asked for a service level agreement so that everybody that is living in their houses, their blocks. Remember I showed you the slide about field of membership, the common bond? So long as you guys say a credit union is prepared to let every one of my tenants and staff join the credit union, you can have a credit union that is only working for you. What you may not know is that staff can actually have payroll deductions paid directly to credit unions. There are many that do that. So you incomes officers that want to encourage your staff to start saving, etc., that's a good way of doing it. This is so important. So an earlier slide said that by encouraging people when they need it to have a small loan, you can also encourage savings. And this report was written by, as you can see, this organisation. So it's called the Fair Banking Institution. Loads of credit unions have been badged by it. By badging, I mean that they've been given the endorsement, the 3 stars, all the things that you guys have to do all the time. We haven't gone in for it, mainly because we're doing it already. But this is a good idea. So you want a loan, comes in, give him his 100 quid. What I say to you is, as well as you having your 100 quid and paying you back £10 a week, why don't you put £1 of that into savings and £9 into loans? So you're paying off your loan. The interest, by the way, on a £500 loan, 500 is £100. Now, if you go to Money Shop, if you go to Wonga, thank God they've gone, if you go to any of these places, £500 is 930 quid. Yeah? So I'm not saying we're not a money lender. We are a money lender. Savings and loans is what we do. But we're a responsible, ethical, fair money lender, and you own us, so you can change what's going on there. So what happens is, as the loan balance goes down, the saving balance goes up. If you go online and get this, it's a good thing to show your income officers, etc. You know, this would be good for our tenants, maybe. That's what you do, yeah? 70% start saving afterwards, whereas they weren't saving before. Right, this is my bit. I actually asked the council for that £85,000. We spent that over 9 years. We lent loads of money, and I asked my mums to pay the money back by moving their child benefit in. Anybody here got child benefit? Don't have to put your hands up. Child benefit. So I got 5 sons. My wife got the child benefit. I never saw any of it. I was disgusted. That was quite a good amount of money. A single child now is about £20, 70p. 2 children is £34, 80p, 40p. 3 children is £35. That is the money that you can use to make your life better for you and your family. It's given to the parents so that they can spend it on the children. Now, when I have people referred to me because they're being evicted, I ask a couple of key questions. Do you like where you're living? I hope they're going to say yes. I've had some people said no. That's as it may be. Do you want to be evicted? That's an easy one, that is. Most of them don't. So of the 1,500 people that I've discussed about their homelessness and about their threat of eviction, I've referred 1,000 of them back to you. Because why should I be dealing with this? You're the landlord, they're your tenant, you have a duty to support your stakeholder. I was a housing officer, I was a welfare officer, I was a money advisor. If you can broker a deal and get your money back, do it for God's sake. Do it. Work on that straight away. But that means we've got to have a relationship with you. Because when I phone up, I don't want to have to phone up Peabody or Clarion or Hyde and then go, well, who are you? Why do you think you have the right to talk about Mrs. Smith's rent account? Well, because Mrs. Smith's sitting here with me, that's why I think. But that's a bad attitude. The best people in this room are the people that want to say, I want to help you to save your tenancy. Let's be dead straight up about this. You can't save everyone. There are people who are in denial. There are people who have real health issues and other issues, and there are people that will lie to you through their back teeth. Yeah? So they could be gamblers, they could be drinkers, they could be drug takers, etc. You cannot help everybody. And that's really important you understand that. But you've at least got to offer the opportunity to try and help people. That is the point. So we were given £85,000. It took me 9 years to spend it. I'm the only one that manages it. None of my other officers are prepared to do it. As soon as the word rent comes into the loan application form, I get the bundle. So it comes to me. I then talk to them and send them back to somewhere else. But they sometimes come back. But mostly, I say, if you want to save your house, you must take certain actions. And if you don't take those actions, it's not these horrible housing officers that are evicting you. It's a judge. And it's somebody in a wig. He's evicting you. Because you're a secure tenant, you have an obligation and entitlement to stay in your home so long as you stick to the contract. And the judge wants you to be there. The housing association wants you to be there. I want you to be there. The only thing that's missing in this agreement is whether you want to be there. And that's the point. The responsibility is not mine, not yours, not the court. It's that individual must learn that responsibility. Right, it's so important in this area. This is where we save people's lives for the future. Many of them have children. Many of them come into me and I'm saying, what do you want to do for your family? I don't live with you. I live in my own place. I've got my own problems, you know. What do you want to do, etc. It's been really, really successful. So we spent the money. So the 85,000 turned out to be hundreds of thousands, which was great. And I said to them, child benefit moves in, 25 quid a week. I always set it as £100 a week. If I lend them £1,000 to reduce the rent arrears, they need to pay that back. They sign a contract to pay it back. They will pay something like £40 interest on that £1,000. That's a good amount of money to save your house, to save your life. That's a great amount of money. And I get the 40 quid. Again, not me. It doesn't come to my pocket. I would like it to. So the important thing is that we're actually helping people to stay in their houses, and we're also helping them to budget and put rent back as a priority. That's the important. So this money disappeared because we charged the council £125 every time we did a loan. So over time it disappeared. Something like £35,000 of the 300-odd thousand pounds didn't get paid back. People couldn't afford it. There's a difference between won't pay and can't pay. And some people that are in financial crisis can't pay. They're still in their house. So we've saved the house. Lewisham Council wrote a report saying that our service had saved £1.1 million of temporary accommodation costs in London. So they gave me £85,000 because I asked for it. We gave it out and it saved over 250, 300 families. All the details are available to you. Contact me at the end of this and I will send it to you. There'll be no names, obviously. It will just be statistics. Now that's a really, really good thing to do. So these families have been saved. We then went broke. We had no money. So I asked them for £200,000. I'm a bit cheeky. I asked them, you'd never have guessed that. I asked them for £200,000. They said, oh, we haven't got any money. Look what's happening. All of our budgets have been cut. I said, that's fine. We'll just stop doing this service now. You know, back to you. Oh, right, hold on. No, we might have some money. So they wouldn't give me the 200,000. They said they'd give me 100,000. I said, okay. Because of the increase of work, that'll only last for 5 years, I said. You know, there's more people now coming to us every single month. So let me tell you this as a fact. There's about 18 of the housing staff that refer people to me. 18. They refer people to me. There's only one of me. And they're going, well, get on with it. You know, do it. All this. That is why it's really important that what we do is we refer it back to the housing officers to see what they will be prepared to do. There's housing officers in this room who know me, I know them, they know that I will pick up the phone. I expect a bit of respect, as I will give respect. But the best way of solving this is getting the tenant to realise that they've got to talk to their landlord. That's the best way of it. Not me putting my hand in my pocket. So we didn't get 100,000, we got 125,000. The outcome. Right, 400 loans have been granted, about 800,000, that's the 2 local authorities. 120 loans have been fully repaid, that's out of date, it's more. 137 loans are being repaid, that means the 25 quid that I was talking to you about. 75 of the families that we helped over the last 10 years did not continue to pay their loans, okay? If you want to work with your credit union, I spoke to a couple of people here earlier, go and do due diligence, go and look at them, look at their accounts, go and visit them. I always use this phrase. People phone me up and say, what are you like? I said, well, why don't you pop in and see us? We've got 3 branches. Come in and have a look at us. Do the mystery shopper. Yeah. Thank you very much for allowing me to come today.